right. Let's get this party started.
Well, Happy New Year, Mr.
2025,
Ridgely.
my man.
Exactly. Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to all of our mastermind participants.
Yeah, a little crazy, right? So this coming week, Hubert, I'm headed out to annual brothers ski thing. And when I checked the temperature this morning, I got this from my little brother Coley, who's going to be there. -5.
Minus
-5. Okay, that's kind of in the stupidly ridiculous category of why in the world would anybody want to go to -5? But we have to remember that we are in an age of technology. So, what did I do last night? Went on Amazon Prime, ordered myself the deluxe carbon fiber battery powered heated long underwear along with the heated under socks. So now I'll be like completely, decked out like a one of those creatures from the future or something. Because otherwise there's no way I could survive -5.
Well, just don't short circuit yourself in your adventures
Yeah,
there.
no, that'd be pretty interesting, right? Like,
Okay, well,
oh
you
my,
don't need you don't need AI for the answer I'm going to give you originally. Here's the antidote. Hot toddies.
yeah, right. Mike Paul says use limbic messaging because being cold at -5 matters. Yeah, right.
No,
Sure.
use limbic messaging because it's so heartwarming.
Yep, exactly, man. Exactly. Jim says, "You ready to go do some more skiing?" Yeah, man, for sure. You got to do that. Got to hit those slopes. Um,
Exactly.
Awesome. Happy New Year, everybody. Really excited about 2025. Hubert had an idea. What was your idea again? You would share it with everybody.
Yes. So I encourage everybody to say yes. Putting a stake in the ground is, I think, Richly, the action step to take after you get your resolutions in place, right? Especially when it comes to your marketing projections and everything else that you want to do for your business. I invite any of you that really want to put that stake in the ground to come on to the hot seat right now and just tell us the objectives that you want to meet, whether you want to get better at AI or start marketing or doing some JV stuff or whatever. Just hop on here, spend a minute, and just declare it to the mastermind and the world and the universe of what you want to do this year. What do you think of that, Ridgely?
I think that's a great idea. And if that's a little too scary or whatever, you could alternatively um, literally just type it into the chat. My goals for this year, what I'm looking to do are this or this or this, right? So, and Mike Paul, let us know if you're okay to come on board and share with everybody your brand newest version of what you created using AI. Doreena's raising her hand, so I'm going to bring her in real quick. She's going to hop in and declare something. So I like that. Make this happen. And then Hubert, I need to hear
Yes.
from you, man. I need to hear from you what you're going to do. And
Ah,
Bridget jumped into the chat and said AI be a major part of that growth. I agree
awesome.
100%. Uh,
Hey,
she
Dorina.
is. Oh,
You're
you're on
muted.
mute. You got to
You're
unmute,
muted.
my dear. Dorina, you got to unmute. Oh, 1 second. Unmuting first.
I used to be a rocket scientist at MIT and I can't get the Zoom crap together. It's like, and I'm even wearing the sweatshirts because it's damp
Yes.
here in Florida, South Florida,
Great
Ridgely.
to see you. You're looking good, and I wish I was anywhere but where it's cold at the moment. So I'm with you. But
Yeah,
you're wearing a sweatshirt too. It can't be that warm down there.
now it's freezing down here. I actually put shoes on this morning.
Oh, so what's your declaration for 2025?
Two declarations. Get back up to 50K a month, bottom line, net income, not revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And make a Dorina GPT.
Awesome.
We
that
can help you with that.
that you mentioned, Hubert,
Yes.
the last call, and I said, yes, this will be the
And
kick in
I'm
the ass
telling you
because
that
I
that's a cool
started.
thing.
Hmm?
I'm going to do a little bit of a training on that today, actually. So
Perfect.
it'll
Thank
be
you.
awesome. All right,
Yeah.
Hubert, since it's just the three of us here, what's your declaration?
Well, so I am going to help myself by being harder on my teammates. Okay, so originally it's kind of seen a shift in the way I act in our team meetings and so forth. And no more Mr. Nice Guy because it's only hurting us in the long run. I'm going to hold other people more accountable, make them do what they say they're going to do, or make them say that they're going to promise less or whatever, because in my being a nice guy, it's actually hurting not only myself, but the team. So originally, for me, it's a heartfelt one. I'm just gonna step up and like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And it's like calling people out on their stuff and insisting on, rising the commitment for everybody to help myself. Now, I know it sounds a little um, severe, but if you know me, I'm like Mr. Nice Guy. So I'm gonna try to literally be a little less and hopefully help everybody more in this regard. Now I know that's kind of a big thing for me, so
No, that's good, man. So it's very interesting because we did not have this conversation offline. We didn't know what each other was working on. And every year at the beginning of the year, I am, in fact, I do it every quarter, but especially at the beginning of the year, I am super committed to setting goals and doing it in a very formal process. I already set all kinds of goals. I've already done this for this year and for the first quarter. And each year, I also come up with a theme, a personal theme. So 2 years ago, when we started with AI, the theme was the year of laying the foundation. And then last year my theme was the year of controlled growth. And we achieved both of those objectives 2 years ago and last year. This year, as I was sitting there meditating, in my case, chanting about this a lot, really thinking about it, pondering it, noodling on it. And out of my life came the year of accountability. So
oh,
Hubert Lee, it sounds like somehow my brother, my partner, somehow we're on the same page, man. Because I was like, nope. And so for me, accountability means a number of things. One of them, including the formal nature of accountability. We have been embarked on a very large project of adopting a project management system called Teamwork, which is a lot like Notion or Monday or Asana or ClickUp. We chose Teamwork. We're in the middle of doing it all. We've now invested a lot of time and money so far. We're about to launch the thing full bore, and I'm very excited about the idea that it will do what you just talked about here, which is hold everybody accountable. I think it's really necessary. And I would add that in the age of digital working and remote working, like we all do so much of nowadays, anybody now that's in the digital space, almost all of us at the very least have remote workers. Even if we go to an office, we have VAs, we have assistants, we have teams in other places. It's even more necessary than ever to have a methodology by which to hold yourself and your team accountable to the results that everybody wants. Because when you win, everybody wins, and it feels really great. So, all right,
excellent.
Davina, thanks so much for jumping on. I'm going to get into this training here in just a minute. Ciao for now.
Thanks, Serena.
All
Okay,
right.
just want to acknowledge, originally, before we continue, just wanted to acknowledge some of the comments in the chat. So Mike said, in 2025, I'm working on an AI consultant certification to start offering AI consulting services. That's awesome. Named my consulting practice AI Innovation Partners.
Nice.
Sweet. Very,
I
very
like that.
nice.
All
And
right.
for Fede, bridge AI-assisted filmmaking and marketing and messaging for small businesses, 5 clients for 2025.
Nice.
Excellent. Nice. And then let's see what is here saying, hey, Bridget, hey, Sancia, hey, Federico. Yep. And then let's just see if there's anything here. Bridget, with the big statement here, I want to triple my business income and grow my team. Excellent. That's great. Hey, Jim, how are you? Awesome. Okay, cool. So excellent work, everybody.
So one of the concepts that people are talking about is the idea of being oversubscribed. This book was written by Daniel Priestley a few years ago, and it's really outstanding. It's about being oversubscribed. And by oversubscribed, he means the concept that there's more demand for what you offer than there is supply. More demand than supply. So if you have more demand than supply, that means you're not chasing business at all. You're working on growth and scale and economies of scale automations, using AI or whatever to get bigger. Okay, that's the concept. And this is my sub theme for the year, oversubscribed. That from this point forward, as we go through these mastermind sessions together, we can talk about how are you doing. So for Federico, 5 clients a year is enough to keep him oversubscribed. There's no more bandwidth, but 5 clients, if they're all paying a number of thousands of dollars per month, that's a beautiful thing. You have a really nice income and a really nice life. For us at the moment, that means we're bringing on a new dental practice every 2 weeks. Now, that's a lot, but it means that, so how do you do that? And I want to talk about that first, and I'm going to talk about AI as a tool and a different way of approaching AI as we evolve this. So the way to become oversubscribed is to make your clients into heroes. Let me repeat that. Make your clients the heroes. I'm going to use the dental space because that's our space primarily. But imagine this. We're starting a brand new newsletter. We're actually starting it this month. On this call, Sancia is with us. She'll be in charge of that particular project. And every month, we're going to feature somebody, one of our docs, who is just crushing it in the marketplace. And so what are we basically going to do? We're going to celebrate a doc, make them into a bit of a hero. We're going to give valuable content because we're going to talk about how that doc got to where they are. But what do you think happens to all the other docs that are on our list when they see Dr. Hubert kicking butt, taking names, #1 search engine rankings in the Google Maps, et cetera, in 27 different categories, et cetera? Just want to say congratulations to Hubert. So sorry we are filling your chair so full that you can barely stand the patients, right? What do you think happens to all the other guys that are there? Oh my God, I need a piece of that. Now, what happens when I'm going literally, oh, it's so funny it happened that way, 3 weeks from today, I'm flying to Tampa, and I'm going to speak to a room full of dental professionals, about 150 of them. So imagine when I stand in front of the room, and in that room will be 4 of our current docs, practices, not docs, more than 4 docs, but there'll be 4 practices. What am I going to do? I'm going to showcase the results of those 4 practices in front of the others, everybody else that's in there. And because of this concept of knowing that I don't want more than 1 new doc every 2 weeks, what am I going to do? I'm going to say, and if all of this makes sense after they've seen the ridiculous results we're getting, after they've seen the insane AI tools that we have, after I've educated them that AI is as important as the internet in their business and that they need an AI partner, after all of that, I'm going to say, so if it's interesting to you to have a conversation with me, please get with me as soon as you can because we are oversubscribed. I can only take 2 dentists a month. And after that, there's a waiting list, which we have, because you deserve the kind of white glove treatment that comes with that hands-on personalized care. So get with me right away and I will report back to this mastermind. You said, let's make a bold declaration, Hubert Lee. I'm making a bold declaration that I'm going to walk out of that meeting, have a few follow-up calls, and be oversubscribed until summer.
Awesome.
And by the way, just so that we're transparent, every doc is $50K a year plus to us. So this is real money in a big way. And if you play the game properly, you become oversubscribed. You're never chasing business. You're focusing on serving your clients, making friends, building great relationships, and life is a really beautiful thing. So that brings me, Hubert, if you don't mind, into this piece I wanted to do here for everybody.
That'd be great.
So I have a good friend named Brad Hart. Brad Hart used to be a hedge fund manager. He's one of the smartest guys I know. And he's really been working hard with AI. He runs a 7-figure business with 3 assistants. So there's basically 4 of them. His wife helps too, so maybe 5. And does an incredible job. So he sent an email And I wanted to read in part the email. I'm going to pull it up on my screen here, of how to think differently about using AI. And then I'm going to show you an example of what he's talking about. So people often ask how I'm able to run a 7-figure business with 3 part-time team members. The secret, we've reimagined the way we work. We've embraced AI first thinking in everything we do. This is really key, AI first thinking. Here's the catch. It's not about prompts, hacks, or latest tools. It's about relationships. Let me explain. Recently, a friend reached out frustrated. Why can't I find a good VA? Why don't they follow instructions? I gave them an SOP. Should I hire from the Philippines or Eastern Europe? Sound familiar? I've heard the same complaints from people working with AI. I gave it a prompt. It didn't work. The latest model isn't solving my problems. Why doesn't it just get me? Here's the thing. AI isn't a magic wand. It's not about using the right tool or the perfect prompt. It's about building a relationship with it. Let me give you a glimpse into how I approach AI. Guys, I'm telling you, you ought to screenshot this. You just screenshot this right now because this is gold. It says, let's see, let me see if I can make it even bigger. I'm just going to try to make it easier for people to screenshot. If I can get rid of this over here. There. Let me give you a glimpse into how I approach AI. On Sunday, I sat down and asked GPT some big questions. Quote, I've noticed you've gotten much better at writing in my voice. The adjustments I need to make are fewer and fewer. This is to your point, Dorina, about creating a Dorina GPT. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. This is a Brad Hart GPT. It's honestly becoming a joy to collaborate with you. I want others to have this same experience where AI feels like a true partner. So let's explore this. 1, how do you learn about my preferences beyond memory? Are you getting better? 2, are you getting better at writing like me, or are we just aligning stylistic? 3, will everyone end up with the same voice, or can AI stay unique for each person? 4, based on my feedback, what stands out about my writing style? 5, what principles and influences guide your writing process? The conversation that followed was eye-opening. Here's the key point. AI isn't just a tool, it's a collaborator. And like any great collaborator, it gets better with time, feedback, and intentional engagement. Here's the takeaway. Stop treating AI or people like a checkbox or a taskmaster. Start building a relationship. When you do, you'll unlock its potential to amplify your creativity, scale your impact, free up your time, and so on. You talk to your AI, sharing stories and ideas in your own voice, and within minutes, those ideas can be transformed into blog posts, video script, podcast episodes, social content, while staying true to you. It's not a dream, it's happening now. Here's what I'd love you to think about. This is from Brad to all of us. How are you currently using AI in your work? What's one way you could build a deeper relationship with it? Are you someone like me who's willing to spend 1,000 hours going down rabbit holes, or would you prefer to just learn what works? Some food for thought. And that's obviously what we're looking to bring you here on this mastermind, how to use this tool intelligently, speak to it like a collaborator. It is much, much better. There's so many people that I see that just throw a question into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, and then Gemini spits something out and they go, okay, I'll use that. No, you can't do that. You have to work with the tool. So I had an occasion yesterday. Federico and I, who Fede is on here, are working on a project. And I'm going to share my screen again. And so the project is we are going to create a series of interviews with community bank superstar CEOs, the elite of the elite in the top 5%. And I said to Federico, all right, man, you know what we need? We need to create some questions that we ask each one of them so that then we can parse out one question answered by 5 different CEOs and another question answered. So we get multiple different perspectives on the questions. That is gold. These are the elite of the elite. You're getting their best ideas and if we stuck to it, if we went in there and go, hey, tell me your story, tell me your journey, tell me your whatever, right? And they're all over the place, that doesn't help us. But if we created a structure, a template that worked with each of them, asked each of them the same questions, we then can come back and parse their answers to various questions and create these amazing nuggets that anybody in the community banking world can work. Now, I could have come up with those off my head, top of my head. I could have put in a simple prompt, or I could have taken the time to be disciplined enough to think of AI as a collaborator. So what did I do? I went to ChatGPT and I started at the very beginning, a little old school with Ridgely's prompt creator, as if I was starting from scratch. But I want to show you the difference of what I did now, evolved 2025 AI, as opposed to early 2024 AI, in which I would have just followed the thing. So I said, what should the prompt be about? You're an expert copywriter with deep experience in the community banking industry. You've been tasked with coming up with excuse me, questionnaire to be used in a series of live interviews with lead community bank CEOs for a series that will educate other bankers about how to be the best of the best, run the best banks, become a top 5% in their area, and more. The questionnaire should have 10 questions that will be asked of each of the interviewees. Now, that's a pretty thoughtful prompt already. So you put in a yucky prompt into prompt creator, and you're going to get a 5, a 6. It came out with, this is already an 8. Right out of the gate was an 8. But that means I can refine it to a 10. How do I do that? I look at the questions and I look at the suggestions made by prompt creator, and I then speak to the tool as if I'm speaking to a colleague. So I said, specific themes should include what is currently working, where do you see the future of community banks, what are the top keys to success in a community bank in today's environment, and what should I ask that I haven't asked you yet? Include a mix of leadership styles, culture issues, and strategies. Definitely tailor the questions to align with specific challenges of today in the community banking industry. Thanks for the clarification. Here's the refined prompt. And it went and gave me another one, and then gave me another series of suggestions and questions. And we're already up to a 9. So I could run this, or I could push it further. Hold on, let's keep going. The theme should be universal to the USA only. Technology adoption, specifically AI, is important. Differentiation from large banks and fintech would be great. The specific challenge of creating culture matters. Also, a personal question as to why they chose to get into community banking and what impact they believe they can make is important. Now I'm collaborating, I'm refining, I'm working with the tool that does this at warp speed. I mean, all I literally do is click go and it's done. Now I get all the way up to a 9.5. Now you could easily run a prompt at a 9.5. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep going. So I'm now going to offer a little bit more. The tone should be inspirational and practical, offering the interviewees the opportunity to give specific tips or advice. AI and tech can focus both on current and future developments. Hiring and retention are key, as well as peak performance and becoming a top 5%er. A bank that operates in the top 5% of their peers, a closing question would be great. And I'm using the questions and suggestions from prompt creator to continue the process. Now it goes all the way through this, gives me some more, gives me a 9.8. I'm like, really, man? Okay, so what about 9.8? What else could I do? What else could I say? I said, okay, a question on what are the most important metrics that each interviewee considers and why could be key. Now, can you imagine that? 5 or 6 of the most elite bankers in the country all share what is their most important metric and why. That's just beautiful. I mean, that's a thing of beauty to get that. Exploring innovations, particularly AI, would be an impact community banking. And the next step could be great. So we went there. It gave me a 10 out of 10. But it came back with these 10 questions, and I didn't like the sequence because it started out with what are the top metrics, what are the strategies, etc. So even though I had a 10 out of 10 on my prompt, I didn't like the sequence. So I said, would you like adjustments? Yes. Can you revise these to focus on the personal side first and the banking specifics after a rapport is established with the audience based on sharing their stories first? In other words, I wanted the relationship part to come up first. So somebody that's watching it is going, wow, I relate with this person, and then the tips and the tricks and the metrics. So then it came back with another set of 10 questions. And I said, great, but I wanted a little bit more. I wanted the idea of super banker, because that's going to be one of the taglines defining the series, to be in there. And I said, can you incorporate in the questions the notion that these interviewees are super bankers, the elite of the elite? And so then it came back with 10 questions, and every one of them says, you're recognized as one of the super bankers, as an elite leader, blah, blah, blah. What defined you to becoming one of the best of the best? It was too much. Now it's too much. But if you guys are noticing what I'm doing, I'm using AI as a collaborator. So from there, what I did is I said, okay, I've got enough. Let me yank this. Let me pop this over into a Google Doc, and then let me go in there and tweak it to feel more personal, make it tighter, etc. And then I came up with these 10 questions. What's your story? Why'd you choose community banking? What legacy or impact do you hope to have? What's a pivotal moment of decision? The first three are very personal. What personal philosophies or leadership principles? Now we're moving a little bit past the personal into leadership. Fifth, question 5 is about high performance culture. And then in this, only in question 6, after there's been an establishment of relationship between that person and the video, do we get into critical metrics? What's your unique edge? How are you leveraging AI? What are the top 3 keys for success? And we ended on, finally, as one of the super bankers, what question should I have asked you that I didn't? Left it open for them to open it up and round it out as a story. Federico, I'd love to pull you up on here to have your comments on this. I know you've had a chance to take a look at it, because if you guys see right up there in that little blue cool jacket, that's Federico right there. So I know he's looking at the script that I sent over his way. So the point being that really we have the ability to use this tool as a collaborator, just what Brad is talking about. Don't be lazy. It took me maybe 20, 25 minutes, but the result that came out of it was great. And I know that those questions are so spot on that out of those 10 questions, we could create 10 micro promotional videos that Federico can then cut together and splice and use to highlight any one of those points, or a combination of them, or whatever. Federico, your thoughts?
You're working with the AI questioning is just absolutely brilliant, because it took something like something proven that you had done. And just so everybody knows in the audience, there's a huge history behind this, because there were similar questions to the program that Ridgely created many, many, many years ago, back in the old days of cable TV. And when you were on the Success Network doing your interviews with multi-billionaires and what got them there. And then how you took that and turned it into this is absolutely brilliant. And here's the most important piece that I'm seeing so far, Ridgely, because I want to go more into the writing and into what you just did. The brilliance is in knowing the next question to ask. So I think what is underlying here that hasn't been said yet is that you are very clear on what it is that you're looking for, and you're conversing with a tool to help you get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit more about that process? Because I think there's the genius in this whole thing.
Well, so again, if you think about AI being an iterative tool, it's always iterating based on the last piece of data. One of the things that I think you're alluding to, Federico, which is key, is you got to know what is the result that you're going for. What's the end in mind? What do you want at the end? And by the end, to me, in this particular case, the end wasn't, oh, I've got 10 questions for a script. No, the end is I want an output from the people that are going to be using this script that is great, that can be parsed and cut into multiple promotional pieces that can be used as standalone pieces, as independent advertising pieces, promotional pieces, whatever, that can really have an impact in the community banking industry and with our client. So the output is, what's that? How do I get to that thing at the end? And then go all the back to the beginning and say, okay, what is the tool that's going to help me get there? And then how do I interface with this tool all the way until I'm satisfied that the output that I've gotten is exactly what I need to achieve the ultimate goal of whatever we're looking for. So it's not a matter of, oh, I got an idea, let me see where I'm going. You can use AI to ideate, if you want to, but in this case, we're looking for a specific outcome. The outcome is incredible videos at the end that can be multi-purposed all over the place, in social media, on bank websites, in promotions for conferences, etc.
Yes.
And then all the way back to, how am I going to get that? I'm going to get that if I come up with a script to use for these people that makes it easy for them to answer a question that they already know the answer to, but they're still going to get it fresh because it's coming from Federico or somebody else who's doing who's ever acting as a subject matter host. They're already getting that question, but they're getting it fresh. They answer it naturally, etc. And that's going to give Fede the output that he needs to then do his job as a master filmmaker to cut that together into amazing stuff.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this was a perfect segue into then, sharing with the audience how important and how valuable it is when you have not one, but 5 people in a row with, short sound bites that, talking about the same theme and how it runs through the level of social proof that this brings. And of course, we have that element of filmmaking, imbued in that. And then it becomes, imagine that you're watching a trailer on the most important things regarding, if you're another bank CEO, the business, and it's like, oh my God, I've got to be there.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes powerful. Then, of course, once we have the content, we can create those micro things that you see now as YouTube Reels or Instagram Reels that are, 30 seconds. And we've got soundbite after soundbite after soundbite, and we just flood the market with them. And, and with your genius and Hubert's genius of the SEO content, etc. I mean, we just dominate the airwaves, and that's the whole idea. And we do it by creating value. Notice that in no time are we saying it's like, whoa, this is our client who's so great at doing this. But it's just value, 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 value. So I love this project.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, Fede. And again, guys, it doesn't matter what your project is. If you shift your thinking, right? If you remember back to a couple of years ago when AI first came out, November 22, of 22, we really didn't embrace it fully until the spring of 23. So it's been, in essence, we're going on second year, kind of. And when we first started, everybody was talking about, oh, AI is my assistant over here. And then we made an evolution in 2024 where we said, wait, if you think of yourself differently, that you are the assistant to this giant brain, and your job is to enable this giant brain to bring out the content, and you learn how to talk to it, then that becomes much more powerful. Now we're making it a shift a little bit back to, hey, let's collaborate together. Mm-hmm. Let's put together our creativity as human beings that are not iterative. We're all over the place and have all kinds of ideas coming in different ways with an iterative tool that is now far more educated than it was a year ago or even 2 years ago. And now you can see that the output is going to be phenomenal. And it's almost become for me like, whether I like it or not, whether I wished for the olden days where I could sit down with a blank piece of paper and scratch out a couple of ideas and gaze up at the sky and see if I see a bird flew by in the wrong direction and try to ponder what that meant, or, whether I long for them or yearn for them or not, to not use AI to do the bulk of the work on the stuff that we can create with it, it's just foolish, people. It's just foolish, because you can't do what AI can do. You can do what you do, which is to create the instructions, the relationship, the GPT, like Dorina was talking about and Brad just demonstrated, so that AI encapsulates what you're looking for much, much better. But the idea that you can do it on your own, that's just foolish, because it's just not true. Hubert, want to hear your comments.
Yes, thank you. Hey, Federico, great to see you. So, this concept of collaboration is very valuable. It's the whole idea of networking and masterminding. That's why we're on this call right now, right? We're collaborating with each other on our ideas. But I want to show you, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you how you can bake in this idea of collaboration right into your use of AI. Okay, and I just want to share a couple of kind of things that we all should be thinking of. Okay, so as Federico knows, we've been doing a lot of work in terms of like blogging and creating content for SEO, right? And so if you go to Google and you type in what are the best practices for blogging to increase SEO, you'll get a page that's typically like, a bunch of articles or other things that match that topic, right? Now, if you have Search Labs turned on here, you do get this AI overview, which is helpful because it will uh, compile some of that for you. But I wanted to kind of illustrate some different approaches you can take using AI to kind of increase that degree of collaboration. If I go to ChatGPT and down over here in my where you search,
Mhm.
where you actually put in the AI prompt, you can actually click this little search icon here and run a search. I use the same exact term, and this time it'll come back and give you results, but also it will give you the click through. So it's acting like a search engine, right? And again, so it's ChatGPT telling you, okay, this is what you do, blah, 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 and here are some curation things. But as I've always been telling people to go to perplexity.ai and really get that degree of collaboration with an AI powered search engine. And what do I mean? Here's the same exact term again. What are the best practices for blogging to increase SEO? And it will go and give you sources so you can click through just like a traditional search engine. But then it will go and condense that into some actionable knowledge for you. But check this out. As fans of Perplexity know, the real key is down over here at the bottom. This related section,
Mhm.
okay? Related to your question, what are the best practices for blogging to increase SEO? These are tangential related questions, but would spur further thought, right? So I've done a lot of work in search and sort of thing, and there's different search paradigms. There's searching for a certain known thing, and you want to go and look it up, right? Dewey Decimal System in a library. But there's the idea of a collaborative search where you're trying to browse for the information knowing that you're new to the topic and you don't know what you don't know. And so in that paradigm here, these related questions are very, very valuable. If I'm trying to create blog posts to increase SEO, these related questions here, it's perplexity collaborating with me. It's giving me ideas of things that I didn't know about, right? I can increase the readability and hence the strategies for that become valuable and they will further increase SEO. Oh, look, images for SEO. Oh, the meta information that I should post with it. I didn't know that I needed to know about these things, but that's the power of something like an answer engine that Perplexity gives. So, originally, the collaboration can go down to the degree of how you use the tool as well.
Yeah, for sure. And these are the reasons why you want to be in a mastermind like this, so that you continue to learn about this stuff. Because guys, we often use the example of dentists because that's our primary business is serving dentists. We have other clients, but we primarily serve dentists. But it doesn't matter what your thing is. You need to become an expert at knowing how to use AI for your thing, whatever it may be. I see there are a number of real thought leaders on our call. I see Paul and Joan is on here. See Scott Brown is with us. Tarina is with us. Bruce Barnes is here. The Logical Intuitive. There's a lot of thought leaders, coaches, gurus. Forgive me if I didn't mention your name. I just scanned very quickly. No matter what your area of expertise is, getting really clear on what are the AI methodologies that you can use to create the content that you need. When you're promoting yourself or whatever, you want to use the tool. And then you want to bring stuff back to here so that we can help you refine the stuff we have very advanced tools. We have very advanced stuff that we use on an ongoing basis. But we're using this every day. It's like I turn on the internet, I'm checking my email, and I'm seeing what needs to be done today and which piece of this am I going to be using an AI tool to help me with, because it's absolutely ludicrous for me to try to do this by myself if I have access to this tool. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, okay, what I'm going to do is I need to move this whole pallet of bricks from over here to on the other side of the parking lot. I think I'm going to take them one at a time as opposed to using a forklift and just carrying them over, in one go. You would never do that. But there are people on this call, and of course, much more out there in the world, who are not thinking yet, who have not yet adopted the thought process of, no, if there's a way to use AI to support you, don't be afraid. Just jump in and start using it. It's going to make your 2025 way better. And and by the way, let's just be open to ideas, right? Let's just suppose, for example, that you decided to make pistachio encrusted baked salmon with lemon. Now, you could search for a recipe, or you could go on Perplexity, and I'll do it right now and show you guys, because I'm just wanting to not make light of it at all. It's the opposite. It's really helping people understand that this is very, very real. So I go here, pick up a new spread, give me the best recipe to make pistachio encrusted baked salmon with lemon. Okay, there we go. And now how long did that take? About 3 seconds. 30-minute pistachio crusted salmon from craving something healthy. Salmon with pistachio, all the sources that we get. And here we go. There's the ingredients. There is the recipe. And I have to tell you, that's pretty much exactly the recipe that I used the other night. Preheat the oven, create the crust, done, finished. Oh, wait, you know what? I'd like to know what would be the best wine to pair with this dish. Now, I could think about it based on my own experience, or I could say, let's see. White wines, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, or Pinot Noir, Beaujolais, or Gamay. Okay, cool. Great. What do I have in my cellar? Cool. Now, can you recommend some vegetable pairing for me? Well, now it's making me want to sign up. Yeah, right. Here we go. Top vegetable sides: green beans, asparagus, broccoli, broccolini, and Brussels sprouts. Oh, I have Brussels sprouts. Okay, cool. Let's talk about, and I could keep going, right? I'm just trying to really help everybody understand that you can use this for anything. So next week I'm going out on a trip. I'm going out to Vail, Colorado, to meet with my brothers. We do it every year, and suppose that I'm going to do another one just to show everybody. And I'm doing this by way of example so you can open your minds. I'm going, you don't even have to type up, going on a trip to Vail, Colorado next week, and it is very cold. What can I do to enjoy the trip despite the weather? You could worry about this yourself, or you could tap into the biggest brains out there. Indoor activities, outdoor winter activities, snowshoe tours, snowmobiling, additional fun. Well, that's not exactly what I was looking for. I'm looking more for ways to stay warm while skiing. Okay, cool. And within 3 seconds, here we go. have a layering strategy. Create a base layer, moisture wicking materials like merino. Do I have any of those? Avoid cotton. Oh, I shouldn't use cotton. Oh, okay. Look for snug fitting base layers that sit close to the skin. Mid layers, outer layer, additional. Wear a neck gaiter, use hand warmers, choose helmet compatible. Right? So again, as you're going about your day, this tool is so ridiculous when you just make it a part of who you are as a collaborator. There's no reason to now, I'm not saying that anybody shouldn't be using your noggin and thinking, right? Because we're thinking about how to interface with a tool, just like an artist might think about how they chisel on a piece of marble to create the Da Vinci, Leonardo or whatever. So
So Richly, so can I enrich that lesson you just gave, please?
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and point out a couple of things. Okay, so now what just stepped us through is a pretty good demonstration of an AI-powered search engine, but it's still within the realm of I don't quite understand the difference between Perplexity and Google. Okay, so let me demonstrate that more explicitly. Okay, now this part of my query here is exactly the same as what Richly said. Give me the best recipe to make pistachio encrusted salmon with lemon. Okay, but if I type that into Google, I would have also gotten some good results. This next one here allows for a synthesis unique to you that takes the power of perplexity. So give me the best recipe and tell me how to explain it to my guests in a manner that provides a unique dining and educational experience. Now watch what happens. It goes and it does a search and comes up with recipes. Okay, that's fine. And so it starts off by explaining, here's the recipe. Here are the ingredients. Here's the instructions. Now here comes the magic. Presenting the dish to your guests. To create a unique dining and education experience, consider the following approach. Introduce the dish, right? So you give them some information here about, this, that, and the other thing. Highlight the ingredients, right? Tell them the whole thing about how the honey adds a touch of sweetness that balances the tangy lemon and the Dijon mustard. Describe the cooking process. Share that what you baked it is perfectly flaky texture and all of that. Encourage this sensory experience. Encourage your guests to take in the aroma of the dish, noting the fragrant pistachios and zesty lemon. Describe the visual appeal of the vibrant green crust against the pink salmon. And on. Tasting notes, wine pairing, cultural context, interactive. The point is that we've managed originally to have it write a unique thing for you that may have been extraordinarily difficult to find if you were just doing search. Meaning you needed to find somebody who did this recipe and presented it as a big deal, right? You may or may not find that. But originally, you and I do this kind of culinary thing all the time, right? Part of the reason why we love cooking is the presentation of it and the interpretation of it to our guests. This is like right up our alley. We just need to ask Perplexity to do it for us.
Yeah, and think about how you could literally preparing a party for your friends, come up with some cool ideas there. I mean, it's endless what's possible when you're using the tool. So
Yes. Now, one more thing before we move on to the next point, I just want to share again and also put in a word for the very mundane use of ChatGPT. Okay. And I do this every day and it has added hours to my day. Okay. So I was doing some work and I needed ChatGPT to do some grunt work. Okay, so look, for the following list, please append Gorham, Maine to each line in this list. So I type in the list, and sure, here you go. Here's the updated list, and there, boom, I go and I copy it, right? I ask it what to do, as opposed to me monkeying around with some word processor or something like that, right? It asks, let me know if you need further modifications. Okay, I needed this. Format that list as comma separated paragraph of text. Here you go, boom. So now I can do this. So Richly, rather than me like mess around with very mundane stuff, I can use this as a tool, for this kind of thing.
and look at that. If you're doing, in our case, a search engine optimization stuff, look at the keywords that you're coming up with, and the tool's doing it for you. Why in the world would you try to do that yourself? Insane.
Exactly. right? Now, since I'm in my ChatGPT, I want to mention this functionality that is super key, and it really takes advantage of the idea of collaboration. So I'm in ChatGPT Plus. Okay, so if for those of you that pay the $20 a month to use ChatGPT Plus, please explore this Explore GPTs button. Okay, you click it. Here's where the collaboration comes in. Okay, so I had an actual case where I came across this video. I want to understand what this guy did. He created a Google Sheet and he used AI to do content creation and then published it in WordPress in an automated way using Claude 3.5. I'm like, cool, but I'm busy. I don't have 20 minutes to watch this video. What did I do? I copied the URL. I go to ChatGPT and I go to Explore GPTs. Okay, so I searched the phrase video summarizer. Okay, and I search for that, and what I'm being shown here are other people's custom GPTs. What's important here in terms of collaboration is, like, here's one at the bottom of the list. 1,000 people have liked it. Okay, that's fine. Why would I choose and try the 1,000 one when the one on the top of the list has 1,000,000 plus? Okay, it got 1,000,000 plus comments and upvotes and stuff like that. This next one's 900,000. So you know what? The power of collaboration. 1,000,000 other people like this one. I like it too. So I click on there. I start the chat. I am now using this person's video summarizer, right? I literally go in here. I copy this URL. I go back over here. I pasted this, right? Now I'm going to say this. Please give me a step-by-step guide on how to implement this based on the video, based on the techniques in the video. Remember, this is a 20-minute long video, right? So rather than me watching this thing for 20 minutes, I'm going to put that in. Within seconds, it's going to give me the play-by-play. What it actually does is it hits the API, goes and looks at the transcript of the video, and then runs AI and basically gives me the download, right? So it's summarizing the approach, right? So here's the summary, and then here's the steps of exactly what to do, and then it tells me exactly what to do. So originally, my day has increased very, very productively as a result of using ChatGPT for these very, very mundane types of things, right? Like, it's my personal assistant that I can now call upon to use all of these things. So Mike, I know you're a big fan of using all of these different tools, and I know I bet that's going to be part of what you teach in your AI Academy. You're on mute, Mike.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Happy New
Yes,
Year,
I
my friend.
am.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Amen.
That's awesome, that video summarizer. That is really handy. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and if we find as we find more and more of these tools, man, we just keep sharing them with each other. It's like you just get better and better and more effective and quicker. And I know you've just built a new super cool. I'm not going to reveal it. I'll let you reveal it to everybody. Tell us how you did this and show us your new stuff, man, because it's very cool.
Okay, let me share my screen a second. Let's see here. Okay. That's not what I wanted to share. Hang on a second here.
That was a good thought, though.
Okay, I don't know. I got three monitors going here. They're all over the place. All right. Hopefully you see.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, I kind of got turned on. I'm not a rap music person, but after spending the last number of months on these masterminds and seeing Ridgely's very creative use of creating lyrics and doing some rap songs, I kind of thought, hey, this would be kind of cool to help make it fun when I'm at an event. I think I'm speaking at a chamber event coming up next week on AI. So I've done a couple videos on this. So I'm launching this AI training portal here. And so I did, I don't know, a couple months back, I did another version of this, but I got something a little bit more updated. So what I wanted to do is create a little rap song. The process on this was I used ChatGPT. First of all, I actually just first of all, I actually use the PAF brain, kind of going back to some of the other tools that you have. And when I created actually the business plan for Learning Academy AI, I saved that as a document, and I use that document over and over again to train the AI engines on certain requests, because it has really all the information in there. It has a limbic message. It has everything in there that I need. So it's a great tool to use. So I use that for it to learn the business, and then I essentially had ChatGPT write me some lyrics. I wanted some specific things to be in the lyrics. I did that.
And then tell us how. So because that's really valuable for everybody.
Okay.
How did you instruct the tool to include those specific things?
Okay. So what I did was I said, okay, you are a world-class songwriter, and you are tasked with creating a song about my business. Here, I have attached a document that provides information and background for you to review. And then I said, I would like to write you write lyrics. The lyrics should include, or the lyrics should be lively. It should be, essentially rap style. It should be inspiring. It should be, and I'm trying to remember all the different adjectives I used on this, but I kind of gave it what kind of tone that I wanted in my music. Obviously, again, I had it look at the information on my business, and then I wanted to create a sense of urgency, to create a desire in the viewer of this to want to take some kind of action or something like that. So, again, kind of the way you would normally do a prompt, but I wanted it to make it in the form of lyrics in a song. Once I did that and I got the lyrics, and then I probably edited a few words here and there to make it work a little bit better for me. I then used one of the music generators. I think I use aimusic.so is one of the platforms that I work with. And you can have it create music, and you can do a custom mode on some of these. And if I have more time, I don't want to walk you through all the instructions because it would take too long, I think, at this point. But I put it in there, and then I had it create the song. And then in that one, I said, okay, I want it to be a male rap voice. I think it works better. I've tried female, results are hit or miss sometimes. But male rap, and then I wanted it to be energetic. I wanted it to be positive, inspiring, and so I kind of just gave it a little bit of instructions in that, and then let it create the song for me. It creates a couple versions of it. And then so now you have your music. And the one thing I did further is what you're looking at on your screen is I brought it into this music MP3 file into Descript. And some of you are familiar with Descript. Descript is a great video editor. You can do all kind of cool things with it. But what I want to do is create what's called a audiogram, which is, so I took the song, put it in there, and then I added a wave generator. I added a couple graphics in there, and then some captions, which will play as soon as I start playing the music. And then, so that turns it into a video, and then that's the package. So it's sort of, the step is figure out what your topic's going to be, use ChatGPT to get your lyrics, use one of the AI song generators to create that music piece with the theme that you want. And then if you want to take one step further and turn it into a video, you can do that using something like Descript, and just add some overlay text and some captions, and then there you go. So that's
awesome. Let's check it out. Come on, let's see.
Here we go.
Chomping at the bit.
It's called Innovate to Dominate, by the way. Can you hear?
Yo, step into the future, the vision is clear. Learning Academy AI, the reason we're here. Unlock the tools, make the profits arise. From the apps to the prompts, watch your business thrive. No cap, it's the real game changer you need. Transform your hustle, let your ambition feed. Small biz owners, pros, let's sharpen the grind. AI knowledge in your pocket, now it's your time. From Lakeway to the globe, we spreading the word. Teaching skills so profound, you ain't never heard. Join the program where the growth don't stop. AI powered forward, move straight to the top. AI skills on the rise, watch them elevate. Join the Learning Academy, don't hesitate.
catchy.
From prompts to apps, we innovate. Building futures, creating fate. It's a digital jungle, let me give you the map. Learning Academy AI, where the leaders adapt. From prompts to apps, we innovate. Building futures, creating fate.
About 30 more seconds.
It's a digital jungle. Let me give you the map. Learning Academy AI, where the leaders adapt. Yo, step into the jungle. Let me give you the map. Learning Academy AI, where the leaders adapt. AI skills on the rise, watch them elevate. Join the Learning Academy, don't hesitate. From prompts to apps, we innovate. Building futures, creating fate.
Wrapping up here.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, if you play, so if you have a business or you're doing a presentation, it's just a great way to inject this in there just for a little fun. And I think people will enjoy that as kind of a pattern disruption, if you will, on your presentation. And so I've done this, I've used this, I've created a number of different songs and country themes and things like that. So just one of the tools using AI, and it's amazing how it comes up with these lyrics.
Yeah, and Mike, just don't touch your screen here, just so that everybody can see this. I want to offer you a suggestion that would just totally bring this over the top. Okay, so have your screen exactly the way it is, and the lyrics go in that white space, and the music's great and it plays that. But then superimpose the following. I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to describe it, and then I'm going to show my screen. Okay, so imagine that where you have Learning Academy, and as you play this thing, it's a picture of you just like bopping along with your head. You're not singing or anything. It's just you like grooving along to it, right? The addition of you being goofy and grooving to it will definitely make it very memorable. And I'm going to share my screen. If you can stop sharing, I'm going to just share my screen. And for those that are into, memes and that sort of thing, do you all remember this Cat Jam thing? See, imagine if this was Mike Paul bopping along here over his rap song. That would totally bring it over the top. And you know why? In a place like BNI or Chamber or anything like that, it's the willingness to make yourself goofy that makes you memorable.
I have no trouble making myself goofy, Hubert. That is a great idea.
Well, no, this is why this mastermind is so great. I'm going to do this presentation in 3 weeks. I want one of these. I'm definitely going to write a rap song from the front of the room with one of the docs in the room. But now I know who the doc's going to be. He's a doc named Rick Redmond. I want a rap song by him with his head bopping. So Hubert, you're going to help me build this, right? Mike, if I need help, can I call you?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay. Because I want to definitely do that. Can you imagine in front of the room, man? And he's up there and his head's going like this and he's standing and there's 150 people in the audience and they're looking at this thing going like this and they're like, hey, that guy's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
So that was a great share, Mike. Thank you for that. As your reward, you get a joke.
Of course.
You get the first dad joke of the new year, and then I have one for Ridgely too. Okay. So Mike, what do kangaroos say to each other on midnight at New Year's Eve? What do kangaroos say to each other?
I don't know. What do they say?
Happy New Year. And Ridgely, I have one for you, Ridgely. What is Corn's favorite holiday? Corn's favorite holiday.
I have no idea.
New Year's Day.
New Year. All right. Mike, quick suggestion, brother. I think you might play with trimming that video down to maybe a minute and see, just because we know that consumption goes way down after the 60-second mark. So from a consumption perspective of the video, you're not going to lose hardly anything by trimming it down a little bit. So stats just tell us that you're going to get more people to stay with you to the end.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a call to action that pops up after it or call to action that's just below the video or wherever you're playing it, you might want to shorten that just a tad, brother.
No, that's a good suggestion. This is actually part of my presentation, I'm doing a lunch and learn for our Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing a kind of a little pitch at the end about, my membership training program. And then at the end of that, sort of after we wrap up, that's going to be kind of the final music playing, just, as people finish up. And so that was the plan on that one. But they're all great suggestions. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Well,
And the
thank
other
you,
thing
man.
you can
Thanks
do
so
on
much
that
for
too
sharing
is
with us.
you could always, if it's on the screen behind you, what you can always do is just play it, let people listen to the beginning of it, and then just mute it. And then you can say something in front of your presentation, and in the background would be you, doing your head bobbing thing.
Yeah, I gotta like do that in front of a green screen so that I can composite me out. And so you're just sort of on top here floating or something.
All right, everybody, next week. Oh yeah, second Thursday of the month. I don't know if it's the second one or not, but we are meeting on Thursday, 16, Mind Types After Dark. So that will be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. Same bat channel, Mind Types After Dark next Thursday. I'll see you all then, everybody.
Wait, before you guys hang up, there was an important question. A couple of people asking in the chat, Mike, what was the app that you used to create the song?
Oh, it was I believe it's called aimusic.so. Hang on. Let me just verify that real quick.
Yep. It's a popular question everybody's asking.
Yeah, there are a lot of music generating apps out there now. This is one somebody turned me on to.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think it's
And one of the best parts about this is when you use these, they're actually generated on the spot for you, and so you won't get any copyright strikes, on your videos and YouTube or anything like that. So it's like this has really gone, really massive in a big way in terms of like royalty-free type recordings and stuff like that.
I just put in the chat box, but it's aimusic.so is the app that I use for this one.
Excellent share, Mike. Thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Happy New Year again. It's going to be a great 2025, and we will continue with our mastermind meetings. Awesome, awesome stuff. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much, and we will catch up soon. Ciao for now, everybody.
How
Bye,
long?
guys. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.